And so, for those that are not familiar with the movement, um, the belief is that the founder was basically abducted by aliens and made to be the prophet. Is that right?
Well, he wasn't abducted. Rael, I believe this was 1964. He visited Mont Volion, not Mont Volion, Mont de Cléron, some shit. I don't know. I'm not too good with French, but he went to this famous mountain. He had the urge to go there um, for whatever reason. And the being that he met there said that the reason for him wanting to go was because he made him go, giving him the urge using telepathy. And he teaches Rael about this, and in the Rayleigh movement, they teach us about this. We all have the gift of telepathy. We're all telepathic beings. A lot of it gets cut off because we believe that that is something of out of X-Men or something like out of a Marvel film. But we are all telepathic beings. To give you an example, have you ever thought about someone and a friend randomly, someone long distance, and then they call you,
Yeah, definitely.
and you're like, "That's so weird. I was just thinking about you, and you gave me a call." That's telepathy. That's telepathy, and they're communicating with you using I guess, a wheelchair for telepathy, let's just say, and that meaning a telephone, telecommunication, which the tele, short for telepathic. But because we are turning off our telepathic signals, and we're not, most of us aren't able to use it, we're lean on this crutch. We lean on this wheelchair, so to speak, called the cellular device, the telephone, which allows us to telepathically communicate with one another, but just via hardware.
And so, with the movement, you underwent hypnosis therapy, right? You said that it was part of the movement's Happiness Academy, and it basically removes anything negative from your mind, and it erased many of your memories. You described the therapy as a form of brainwashing. Could you go into more detail about that?
Yeah, absolutely. So let's again go back to the power of words, and to not get them misconstrued. But what you said, remember earlier about cult and how I mentioned the power of words, like removing of the veil. So if you look at it from that perspective, right? Repeat the question one more time. I'm sorry, because I want to make sure that I go back on this train of thought.
Um, with the movement, you underwent hypnosis therapy,
Got it.
and you said that it was part
Got it.
of the
Got it.
yeah.
Got it. You said brainwashing. That's what I wanted to get on. Brainwashing. You ever heard the term cleanliness is close to godliness?
Right.
You've heard this, I'm sure, right? Okay. I'm sure a lot of people have.
Yes, yeah.
Wouldn't you want to clean your mind? Would you want to clean your mind so that way your mind can be close to a godlike mentality? So, brainwash has been given a negative term, same way to a lot of other words in this world. They just, they throw these words out to kind of keep people away, like the big warning sign, stay out. And brainwashing being one of them. And honestly, if you ask me, I would like to wash my brain. And I'm actually glad that I did, because before that, as a young sponge, as the youth that I was very impressionable. Most minds are when they're children. So I grew up thinking, the world was a certain way, very dark, every eye for an eye, man for himself. No one gets a break in life. You kind of got to be born with a silver spoon. I had all of those ways of thinking until I went through the process of cleaning my mind, cleansing my mind through meditation, positive affirmations, things like this that'll force out all the negative frequencies that my body had. And doing so with brainwashing. And the brainwashing technique is done using hypnotherapy. And hypnotherapy is quite common even outside of this movement. It's a the profession, sorry, that people have. And even recently, last year, outside of the movement, I paid a hypnotherapist to give me a few sessions as well, because I was going through some underlying anxieties that I didn't know where they were stemming from. Using the techniques that I learned from the Raelian movement on how to self-identify these things, how to self-cleanse yourself. After one teaches you how to clean your mind, you can learn to bathe yourself. Similar to a child, when you're a baby, an infant, your parents wash you, they sponge bath you, whatever. As you become an adult and get older, you learn to clean behind the ears. You learn how to wash yourself. So you can learn to cleanse your own brain using techniques like meditation and things like hypnotherapy, which is essentially just going into your subconscious mind and figuring out why is it that this is stemming into your life and your current situation. What is it that's holding you back? What is it that causes you to like or dislike something? Learning yourself, understanding the programming that your computer holds, and your computer being your brain, of course. Our brains could be looked at as like a biological computer. If you look at it from that perspective, it's easier to understand the brain, because most people think like, oh, the mind is so like it's so hard to understand, it's limitless, and it is, but then it isn't at the same time. You have the conscious mind and you have the subconscious mind, and then you have the body, which is the vessel that moves accordingly to what the subconscious mind tells it to do.
So, did you go to like the headquarters of the movement to have this process done originally, or how did you go about getting it done?
You go to a guide. So a guide is someone who has been in the movement for quite some time, definitely over a decade, some of them 2 decades, and they're entrusted with this job right here to submit your cellular plan, is what the terminology is called, and it acts as like a telepathic baptism, so to speak. So the same way you would get baptized, and they dip your head in water and you accept Christ in your life and whatnot. Now you're a Christian, you're born again. You would do so telepathically with a guide on a specific day of the year. These dates can be disclosed if you join the movement. They will tell you what days are perfect for you to submit this cellular plan. And pretty much what that is the Elohim scan your brain telepathically and see the genuineness in your mind and in your heart. Is this person joining the movement simply because they believe there are answers here? They believe there is a truth here, a truth that they would like to spread to others? Or is this person simply joining the movement out of curiosity of something or for just sheer entertainment? They'll be able to determine that, their genuineness telepathically. And they will now submit that message back to the guide that was doing your baptism, your submitting of this cellular plan. And they will let you know from that moment on. It's a few seconds if it's been accepted or if it's been declined. And a lot of the times it becomes accepted.